6:29? That means the guest should be here in like 7 seconds. Whoa, early this year. Hey Tyler, what are you supposed to be?
I'm R2-D2. Again.
Wow, are we like really out of money already? Was that fast?
Hey guys.
What up? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. What took so long?
Oh, I was a little busy.
Hello?
Is your refrigerator running?
Uh-huh.
Well, you better go catch it!
Oh. Jack, 224, how you liking everything?
Hey, good. Can't help but notice the lack of, women in this place.
Good one, Jack. Oop, that must be the pizza man.
So then I said no. Sheer force is not the only factor to winning a twerk off.
Hey, so... Hungry bitch!
Oh! Whew. Must have had too much cake and ice cream, that's all. Or the alcohol. Either or. Man, that felt good. It was just a dream. Shit, I peed for real. It's Halloween, so you know what that means. Putting up the decorations, pumpkin spice flavored everything, every white person within a 10-mile radius dressing as Eddie Munson, and of course, slasher movies. It's no secret that I love slasher movies. I love the idea of popping some popcorn, turning the lights off, and watching a bunch of people fuck, smoke, and die. There's a whole lot of rivalries in the slasher world. Every Halloween season, I see the same debates popping up. Could Leatherface beat Chucky? Yeah. But that won't stop everyone from arguing about it. And of course, the most infamous rivalry in probably all of horror has to be Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. These two get compared in just about every category. Designs, kills, weapons, who would win in a fight, and of course, who has the better movies. Now look, I can give credit where credit is due. In terms of objective, no bias quality, the Nightmare on Elm Street series is so much better than the Friday the 13th series. It's got better characters, it's less repetitive, and ultimately has some cooler ideas to play around with. Instead of running around with a sharp object and killing people in the same ways we've seen for years, Freddy did something fresh and new by appearing in your dreams and killing you in some of the most creative ways possible. But, as the J-Man's #1 defender, I just can't let it stay that way. Last year, I gave myself the duty of propping up Mr. Voorhees by looking at some of his greatest hits, but this year, I'm done fucking around. It's time to knock Freddy down a peg. So put your pajamas on, grab a blanket, silence your phone to ignore your bitch ex-wife trying to take custody of the kids, and let's take a look at not one, not two, but 3 of the worst nightmares on Elm Street. Starting with Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. The first Nightmare on Elm Street was one of a kind. It came at a time where slashers were getting stale, and this movie breathed new life into the genre, with creative kills, a different kind of killer, a genuinely great performance from Heather Langenkamp, and genius writing and directing by Wes Craven. So naturally, when making a sequel, you decide to have no creative kills, boring performances, no Heather Langenkamp, and no Wes Craven. Great. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Return of the Big Bad Boogeyman, is a little bit, just a little bit, stupid. But not the regular horror movie stupid, the kind of stupid that makes me feel stupid. The movie follows Jesse, a sweaty teen who definitely 100% is not gay at all. He is. Him and his family just moved into the Elm Street house, so Freddy Boy decides to start hating. Freddy decides that trying to kill this kid just isn't enough, so he has to be him. You know, for goofs. So let me get this straight. In the first movie, Freddy's only effective in your dreams. You wake up, he's fucked. You pull him out, he's fucked. You rip his face off, well, actually, he's fine. But now he can just kind of possess you and make you kill your leather bar butt-ass naked gym teacher. That's actually kind of cool. But this movie still sucks. Okay, it sucks. Let's talk about Freddy. When it comes to slasher franchises, most of these icons are immortal. Jason, Leatherface, Ghostface, all these icons can basically be played by anybody. Oh my god, look at the mask, it's Jonathan Banks. For example, look at that new Halloween movie that just came out. That certainly was a movie with Michael Myers, with acting from Jamie Lee Curtis and some cinematography. I haven't seen it yet. But in this regard, Freddy stands alone as one of the few horror icons that was really made special by an actual actor. I love Robert Englund, I'd give him my firstborn. Actually, no, I probably wouldn't. No matter how stupid the movie is or how bad the writing gets, this man always manages to make it a good time. In this movie, he gets to play a more serious and menacing version of Freddy. He doesn't appear in it that often, but when he does, it is such a treat. Like the insane body horror scene of Jesse transforming into Freddy with some sick-ass makeup effects and a brutal strangling of Grady afterward, and the whole thing is so goddamn cool. Do I like this movie? No, it's bad. It's bad. This movie's kind of just a slower, gayer, slightly worse retread of Nightmare 1 with the protagonist trying to beat Freddy while also questioning if they might be going just a little bit crazy. A lot of shit just kind of happens in this movie. Like when the family's birds just fucking explode. It's never explained either. Like I guess it's implied that Freddy did it, but also not really. And then it's just never brought up again. Like, oh, okay, our birds fucking exploded. Okie dokie. Like what? Am I being gaslit right now? Oh yeah, by the way, guys, you like this? I was gonna buy an actual Freddy glove for this video, but I couldn't find one, so we gotta deal with this. Fucking exploding birds, though! This movie is notoriously gay. And I really think it's fascinating that a movie with this much queer subtext managed to get released in theaters in 1985. You know how long ago that was? Jennifer Parker was still Claudia Wells. And Freddy was over here giving us some man-ass the whole time? That really gives this movie an identity of its own and helps it stand out from the rest of the series. Fuck. I think I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna regret. I think I actually kinda like this movie now. And I'm not just trying to get any funny internet points like, oh guys, the straight white guy says the gay one's good, we can like it now. No, I actually just think it's a pretty good time. When I first watched this movie, I thought it was ass. And then after rewatching it for this video, I sat at my computer, cracked my knuckles, was ready to rip into this movie, was about to start typing, and fuck! The plot line of being possessed by Freddy is really cool. Jesse's a really likable protagonist, the central romance is really sweet and cute, and it's got some really fun stuff in it. The way it connects to the first one through Nancy's old diary is the perfect amount of connectivity to make it feel like a good sequel, but still makes it feel fresh and new and lets it do its own thing. It starts off feeling like a retread, sure, but after a while it goes full batshit insane body horror with a teen whose body is being used without his consent to fucking kill people. It's a really freaky story that has absolutely nothing to do with the overarching plot of the rest of these movies, and I kind of love it for that. No, it doesn't really have many crazy kills, and it's not nearly as good as the original or even Dream Warriors, but my dumb lizard brain still found a way to enjoy it. However, I still don't understand why the birds fucking explode! You know you're in for a treat when the DVD menu gives you lymphoma. Nightmare on Elm Street 5: The Winter Soldier is a movie that I watched. Twice. This movie follows Alice, you know, from the good ones. Oh yeah, you guys didn't get to watch those. Well, I would like to talk about Dream Warriors or Dream Master, which have great kills, awesome characters, some of the best writing, and some amazing special effects. I'm talking about this one instead. Hooray! This is typically considered one of the worst of the Elm Streets, because if we're being honest with ourselves, it just don't make no damn sense. I could literally explain the plot to you beat for beat, and you probably still wouldn't understand it. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. The movie starts out with some sex. Must have been good as hell too, because it put Alice right to sleep, and now it's time for Freddy to come back to life for the 5th movie in a goddamn row.
It's a boy!
Alice and her little group of funky fuckers slowly get picked off one by getting pulled into her dreams, because plot. And at first she doesn't understand why this is happening to her, but uh-oh, Alice is pregnant! So what's actually happening here is that the baby's the one dreaming, and that pulls her into the baby's dreams, which is also how Freddy's attacking them, and oh my god, I just gave myself a massive migraine. I could keep going and explain this movie to you like you're 5, but you could also just go read the back of the box. They also use the menus as a selling point. Now look, I can hate on this movie all I want, but Freddy is still just as good as ever. This movie's smack dab in the middle of a series, so Freddy is in full silly mode. He jokes around more, he's a little more pathetic, and most importantly, his kills are at their absolute peak. In Nightmare 2, he was burning people, choking people, slashing people. You ever see a girl choke on her own organs? These kills are absolute top of the line. There's only 3 kills in the whole movie, but each of them are so creative and so cool that I just don't care. Alice's boyfriend, Dan, rides a motorcycle, turns into Darth fucking Vader, and explodes.
Hi, Alice. Wanna make babies?
And don't even get me started on Mark's death.
Super Freddy!
Super Freddy will be Super Freddy, but I'm gonna be honest, this segment is really fucking cool. The fact that everything is in black and white and looks like an unfinished illustration with Mark being the only thing in color looks pretty fucking badass visually, just saying. Okay, I'm done being nice, I won't be mean again. This movie's got some poopy ass editing. I'm not usually one to notice bad editing unless it's real bad, and well...
Me on my end. Fabulous. Maybe I should spell it out for you.
Maybe God's trying to tell you something.
What the fuck is going on? This movie's doo-doo garbage editing combined with the fact that it was heavily censored by the MPAA just make this one such a mess. I honestly don't think this movie is that bad on paper. It's just that the execution turns it into hot dog water. I think the concept of an unborn baby dreaming and pulling its mother into its dreams is honestly a really cool idea. But then they throw in this fucking Freddy baby with his stupid fucking voice and it's just like, why? It's like for every good idea in the script, they made sure to throw in just the right amount of human shit. Freddy being the bastard son of 100 maniacs and being the literal arch nemesis of Catholicism itself is quite possibly the rawest, hardest, most metal shit I have ever seen in my life. And this is what they do with it.
Let's go. I want to learn stuff from you.
Human shit! By the time this movie was over, it genuinely took me by surprise because it feels so shallow and empty, especially compared to the movies that come before and after. Dream Child is a messy, shallow, poorly written, censored, toned down, boring, confusing disaster of a film. But at least it can't get much worse, right?
Hey guys, since it's Halloween, I thought I'd come explore the woods, cause well, I don't have any friends. You know, they say out here if you listen closely, you can actually hear whispers of the past. If you listen very closely. Creepy. Guys, check this out. Look, claw marks. So either we're looking at another Elm Street movie, or I'm gonna fucking die out here. It's almost like Friday the 13th out here, you know? In the woods at Crystal Lake and... Fuck. Guys, look. A clue! I feel like I'm gonna get fucking killed out here. Not to get political or anything, but Toy Story 4 just didn't hit the same as 3... Y'all hear that? Hello? I don't know what that was.
Horror reboots can honestly be blamed for a majority of the world's problems. Every couple of years, we get a new horror reboot that promises to take a series back to its roots and make it scarier than ever by removing all the camp and all the fun stuff. And honestly, by doing that, you're just straight up making movies for a different film series. Rob Zombie's Halloween remake takes the original simple movie and makes it an edgy, trashy story about Michael's origins and shoving in as many slurs and naked chicks as humanly possible. And at that point, that's just not Halloween. Just make a new movie. I trashed on the Friday the 13th reboot pretty hard last year, but can I tell you a secret? Come closer. No, seriously, come closer. I've come around to it. I still think it has a lot of the same problems as other reboots, but at this point, the late 2000s aesthetic has kind of become camp of its own. And I also kind of respect that it does something new for the franchise while still keeping the heart of it. And that is exactly why I hate the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. I've only seen this movie once, and I feel absolutely zero shame in calling it one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life. But I promised that I would cover the worst of the worst, so I've doped myself up and booked myself a trip to the psych ward after this because it's time to rewatch the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Yeah, Doc, it's getting worse. This movie is beat for beat, bar for bar, almost word for word, just a shitty, grimy, dark, smelly version of the original. And I'm not talking about it being kind of similar with the same story structure. No. They just straight up recycle scenes. What the fuck? One thing I've noticed about all these horror reboots is that they usually have really, really bad pacing. This movie shuffles through like 3 protagonists throughout the movie. We follow Dean up until the title card, which is almost 10 minutes in, by the way. And then we follow Chris, who takes on Tina's role from the original, which was also one of these fake out protagonists. But the difference there is that she was axed a hell of a lot quicker than Chris is. Chris dies 30 goddamn minutes in. And then we follow Nancy for the rest of the movie, and I'm sorry, but Rooney Mara is kind of bad in this.
What are those pictures of?
They're all of you.
Rooney, honey? Can we get like a reaction here? No. Just anything? No? Okay. Maybe it's just because Heather Langenkamp is my hero, and I just can't see anyone else playing Nancy Thompson but her. Wait, what? Oh. So this is Nancy Holbrook. Okay, well shit, I'm bumping this movie up to an 8. Earlier I talked about how much I adore Robert Englund and how even he can save a shitty movie. Yeah, he's not in this one though. In this movie, Freddy's played by Jackie Earle Haley, and I'm sure he's a decent actor, and you can tell that he's at least trying, but he's just not meant to play Freddy. When Robert Englund Freddy makes a joke, I laugh along and go with it, but when Jackie Earle Haley makes a joke, I want to kick his ass.
How's this for a wet dream?
Shut the fuck! I actually really like his performance in the flashbacks, but once he goes full Freddy, he just sounds like a fucking dork. That combined with his writing goes together like peanut butter and Chef Boyardee lasagna. I don't even think he says bitch once. That's like bringing back Jesse Pinkman and not having him say oh. This movie has a big focus on Freddy's backstory. You know, the whole killing children for his own sick, twisted pleasure and getting burnt to death by the parents of the dead children. Yeah, that one. But this movie floats the idea that maybe Freddy was actually innocent and wasn't such a bad dude. And at first you kind of just brush it off like, nah, Freddy definitely did that shit, and then
they would like to preserve their demographic majority.
Freddy actually being innocent and killing the teens as an act of revenge for his wrongful death is a really cool fucking idea that can change your perception of the character completely. This could ultimately make for a fresh, new take, and nope, he molested the fucking kids. Just was a big old pedophile. He was a pedophile. So there goes that idea. Freddy was always implied to be somewhat of a fucking weirdo when it came to kids, but never to this extent. Maybe because, gee, I don't know, maybe making your character an explicit child rapist doesn't exactly make him too likable, to the surprise of everyone at Platinum Dunes. I know Freddy's done some really bad stuff, like killing teens, helping launch Johnny Depp's career, and killing his fucking wife, but now they're gonna deal with this fucking gross-ass pedophile Freddy, who looks like your grandpa's scrotum, and he's not even being fun about it. Stop trying to make Freddy Krueger scary. It's not gonna fucking happen. Everybody likes Freddy because he's a fucking loser. He's a scrawny, tiny little man who makes corny fucking jokes and does goofy fucking things. Movies like Dream Warriors are so beloved because Freddy is weird. He becomes the puppet, puppets a man, lets this bitch go on prime time, turns his fingers into fucking heroin. The man is crazy. And I could maybe deal with a boring, serious, disgusting, pedophilic, and weirdly CGI Freddy if this wasn't the one we were stuck with. This is the Freddy that got thrown into Mortal Kombat and Dead by Daylight, and Robert says he's done with Freddy, so now we're stuck with this fucking thing. Can you see why I hate this movie now? It's a boring, edgy, poorly written, poorly acted, stupid fucking movie with absolutely zero redeeming qualities, and it killed the fucking franchise! It's done. There's nothing now. The most we've gotten is an episode of the fucking Goldbergs. I'm done. I don't want to watch any more Freddy movies. Halloween's over. It's canceled. No more candy. No more costumes. It's over. Good night. Fuck you. Oh, it's actually just a dream. Thank God. I thought they actually rebooted Nightmare on Elm Street for a second.
They're dead.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, man. I know that must be hard for you, but don't worry. I know the perfect thing to cheer you up.
Good evening, I'm Michael Myers. I have enormous psychological problems, and I'm going to take them out on you.
Even though we watched some stinkers today, I still absolutely love the Nightmare movies and think they're some of the best in the genre. The first one, Dream Warriors and New Nightmare, is a horror trilogy that I think could seriously rival Evil Dead as the best horror trilogy ever made. And when it comes to the franchise's future, I personally think the series should just be laid to rest. There's been some real good sequel pitches over the years, including one from Peter fucking Jackson, but Robert insists that he's done with Freddy, and without Robert Englund, you don't have the piece of the puzzle that makes Freddy, well, Freddy. He had a good run, but I don't think it deserves to be spoiled even more with yet another soulless cash grab of a reboot for no reason other than just to make money. Because after all, studios do famously despise money.
Late one night when the moon was tall, the midnight monsters had a ball at the county morgue till the break